All right. Ready to cook up some serious D&D goodness for your next campaign.
Always.
This time, we're diving into homebrew D&D adventures. Hawkstone Village.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
And the best part, it's packed with ready-to-use stuff.
Less prep, more play. Music to my ears.
Exactly. And since you always say you want a world that really reacts to your players' choices...
Oh, 100%. Makes all the difference.
Well, Hawkstone Village, perfect example.
Really? How so?
Okay, so picture this. Classic, peaceful village vibe, right?
Oh, that's always a but.
There's always a but. Little details that just scream adventure hook. It's all about location.
Location, location, location. Classic. How does it play in here?
So Hawkstone, right?
Yeah.
Smack dab in the middle of major trade roads.
Prime real estate.
Then you've got the Volga Mountains looming up north, all foreboding-like.
Nice. I'm getting a sense of this already.
And to the south, Black Marsh. Nobody goes there unless they have to.
Sounds like my kind of place. What kind of trouble can we cook up there?
Oh, endless possibilities. Trade wars, monster encounters, you name it.
Love it.
Your players could get hired to guard a caravan, suddenly they're in the thick of it, bandits on the road. Or worse, who knows what's lurking in those mountains.
Right. Okay, but what about Hawkstone itself? What's it like?
Okay, so there's this hawk statue perched right on top of the temple, keeping watch.
Okay, that's cool. Stone, I'm guessing?
Definitely stone. And the marketplace. Sounds gloriously chaotic.
The heart of any good village. Lots of rumors flying around there.
Exactly. But then you notice the walls. Big, sturdy, protective walls.
Ah, so they've had their share of trouble in the past.
Makes you wonder, what dangers were they trying to keep out and they gone for good? Maybe what's causing all that chaos in the marketplace is connected to whatever they were trying to keep out all those years ago.
Ooh, I like that. A mystery right from the get-go. Players love that.
Speaking of mysteries, we've got to talk about the locations in this book. Ancient tombs, a hidden halfling village, a spooky marsh. It's like every location is a story waiting to be told.
Okay, give me an example. What's one that really grabs you?
The Tomb of Xan.
Classic. What's the story there?
Well, it's empty.
So Xan's a no-show, huh?
Exactly. But instead of just, Xan's gone, what if his disappearance was the hook?
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
Where'd he go? What was he looking for? Maybe he left something behind.
Now you're talking. Suddenly it's not just an empty tomb. It's a mystery waiting to be solved. It's the start of, what? A treasure hunt. A rescue mission.
Exactly. And you can weave that mystery throughout the whole campaign.
Love it.
Maybe one of the players is obsessed with ancient artifacts.
Always one in every party.
Guess who might have left some clues behind?
Xan. This is great.
Or maybe they're all about the challenge? Xan's tomb. Full of traps, riddles, the works.
Ooh, a classic dungeon crawl with a twist. I'm in. What else? What else we got?
Okay, what about the Chasm of the Deep? I know you love a good lore drop.
Can't resist a good lore drop. What's the deal with this chasm?
Okay, so it's not just a cool name, though it is a cool name. Supposedly, it holds the key to finding Sargon's tomb.
Now that'll get the players' attention.
Right. But it's also rumored to hold all these historical clues about the area.
Okay, so we're talking about more than just treasure. We're talking about uncovering secrets of the past, maybe even rewriting history a little.
Exactly. It's not just about the loot. It's about piecing together the story of Hawkstone.
Which, knowing you, is right up your alley. So we've got ancient tombs, mysterious chasms. What about something with a bit more, I don't know, moral ambiguity?
Oh, I've got you covered. Everfall. It's this hidden halfling village, and they've been locked in this war for ages. Your players, they get to pick a side.
Ooh, instant moral dilemma. I love it.
Depending on who they side with, there could be like ripple effects throughout the whole campaign.
Right. Maybe one faction has ties to, what was it, the Black Marsh? Now we're talking.
See? I told you the Black Marsh was full of possibilities. It's full of gnolls, and these gnolls, they know stuff about the Xans, right?
Okay, so we're talking about potential alliances here. But gnolls, they have a bit of a reputation, don't they?
Exactly. Do they become invaluable allies, or do they become even more dangerous enemies?
All depends on how the players treat them. I love it. Dynamic, player-driven.
High risk, high reward. Classic D&D.
Right, the best kind. Okay, so we've got the setting, the locations, but what about the people? Who are the players going to meet in Hawkstone?
Okay, so that's where this source book gets really interesting, because it's got this huge list of NPCs.
Huge list. Don't overwhelm me here.
No, it's a good thing. But it can be a lot to sift through, right?
That's where you come in, right? Narrowing it down.
Exactly. Sometimes less is more, especially when you want your players to really connect with these characters.
For sure, for sure. So, who are our standout stars?
Okay, how about a couple of dwarves to start? Horace and Merrick.
I'm intrigued already.
They're adventurers in their own right, which I always love. Horace, he's your classic lawful good paladin.
Always need a straight arrow.
But then there's Merrick. Let's just say he's a bit more flexible.
Ooh, morally ambiguous. Tell me more.
Let's just say he knows the land around Hawkstone like the back of his hand.
Valuable ally, then.
Oh, he could be. Unless, of course, he gets a better offer.
Even better. Okay, I like these dwarves. Who else?
Okay, since you love a good, morally ambiguous character, let's talk about Royce Lan. He's a human rogue, bit of a reputation.
I like the sound of him already.
Yeah, Royce is the kind of guy who keeps everyone guessing. Could be a valuable ally.
Or a dangerous enemy.
Maybe both.
Even better. This is great. The source book doesn't give his motivations away completely, does it?
Nope. Totally up to you how you want to weave him into the story.
Okay, so we've got our morally ambiguous rogue. Who else? Someone who can give the players a challenge.
How about an elf ranger? Noom Dawnrider. High-ranking, knows a ton of stuff. But she's not just going to hand out information for free.
Of course not. What's the price of admission?
Well, she's lost something. Something important.
And she needs adventurers to find it. Classic. I like it.
Her horses. They've gone missing.
Horses, huh? So it's not just a simple fetch quest, then?
Oh, absolutely not. This could lead them all over. Maybe they run into Royce Land. Maybe they stumble on clues about Xan. Who knows?
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Layering those plot hooks. Okay, I need one more. Who's our big bad?
Okay, you want a big bad. Gronk Lightfeather. Half-orc rogue in service to the current Xan.
Okay, so we've got our big bad, but how do the players deal with him?
That's the beauty of it. They could fight him head on, try to turn him against his master. Or, and this is where it gets interesting,
I'm listening.
they could strike a bargain with him.
Ooh, playing both sides. Now that's interesting. Morally gray area, I like it.
Right. It's not always clear-cut good versus evil in Hawkstone.
And that's what makes it so compelling. The choices they make have consequences. Okay, so we've got all these interesting folks above ground, but we haven't even touched on what's below.
You mean Volga.
Volga, tell me more about this sprawling Undercity. What treasures or terrors await there?
Welcome back to the deep dive. So last time, we were getting ready to delve into Volga, right? But before we unleash everyone into those dank depths, we should probably talk about how to actually use all this Hawkstone goodness in a campaign.
It's all well and good having this amazing setting, but how do you bring it to life? That's the real trick, isn't it?
Exactly. And one thing the sourcebook does really well is it emphasizes pacing. Don't just dump all this information on your players at once, right? Let it unfold naturally.
Like a fine wine.
Exactly. So instead of hitting them with Xan's evil plan right away, maybe they just overhear a hushed conversation or something, find a hidden journal. Suddenly they're in the thick of it without even realizing it.
Love it. They get to be the detectives. What about those NPCs we talked about, like Royce Lan, Horace, and Merrick? I'm imagining them being more than just quest givers.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe Royce, right? Maybe he approaches the players with what seems like a simple job.
And of course it's not.
Of course not. Turns out it's connected to Xan somehow, right? Suddenly they're caught in his web.
I love it. Okay, what about the dwarves? I'm still stuck on those two.
Okay, so Horace and Merrick, they mention needing help with something.
Deciphering some ancient dwarven text, perhaps.
Exactly, but subtly, right? They don't even realize that it's all connected to this larger lore you're building.
So sneaky. I like it. So we're talking about subtlety, about those little breadcrumb trails that lead to something bigger. What else? What else can we do with this source book?
Well, one thing I really appreciate is how flexible it is. Let's say you're really into dwarven lore.
As you are.
As I am. So, I want to make the Volga Mountains a central focus of the campaign.
Bold move. I like it.
Right. What if, deep within Volga, the players find this ancient dwarven prophecy?
And it foretells Xan's return, of course.
Of course. And the only way to stop him is to find this lost dwarven artifact, maybe hidden in the heart of the mountains.
A classic quest. But with your own twist. I love how you're taking all these elements, these possibilities, and making them your own. What about those Volga dungeon encounters? I know you're eager to get to those.
Oh, I can't wait. But, okay, one thing that struck me is that you don't have to use those encounters just in Volga, right? They can inspire any dungeon you create.
Oh, that's good. Good point.
Remember that white dragon we talked about?
Guarding its hoard. Who could forget?
Imagine your players They finally reach the vault of this corrupt official they've been chasing, right? And instead of gold and jewels, they find a white dragon.
Sitting on a pile of stolen taxes.
Exactly. Talk about a memorable encounter.
See, now this is why I love these deep dives. It sparks so many ideas. We're not just summarizing the book, we're brainstorming ways to make it sing.
Exactly. But even with all these tools, sometimes it can still be tough to actually get started, you know?
Blank page syndrome.
The bane of every dungeon master's existence.
Well, the source book has some advice for that. It talks about what it calls active world building.
Active world building, what's that?
Essentially, it means letting your players' decisions shape the world around them.
Oh, interesting. Less work for me, more agency for my players.
Exactly. Let's say your players, they decide to help Noom Dawnrider find those horses.
Right.
As they're searching, maybe they stumble across, I don't know, a hidden grove. It's not in the source book. You didn't plan for it. But now, because of their actions, it exists.
Okay, a hidden grove. I like it. Mysterious.
Maybe it's a place of ancient magic tied to those past Xans we talked about. Or maybe it's a refuge for creatures displaced by the conflicts in the region, gives the players a glimpse of the bigger picture. You decide.
I love it. It keeps things fresh. I'm not running a pre-scripted campaign. We're all discovering the story together.
Which is what makes D&D so special, right? That shared active imagination.
Absolutely. But before we unleash everyone on Hawkstone, we should probably talk about the story itself.
The main course.
Exactly. Because while Hawkstone provides all the ingredients, it's up to us, the Dungeon Masters, to cook up something truly epic. All right, adventurers. We've got all our Hawkstone ingredients prepped, chopped, seasoned. You get the idea. Now it's time to cook up a story. Something truly epic.
We've got the what, but what about the how, right? What's the story we're telling here? And the source book, it's great at dropping those little hints, those threads you can pull on.
Well, for sure, like those multiple Xans, right?
Exactly. Not just one big bad, but a whole lineage of them. Xan the Fourth, can you imagine?
Talk about a family reunion you don't want to go to. But it really opens up the possibilities, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. What if their spirits are still around, haunting the place? Maybe defeating the current Xan means facing echoes of his predecessors, too. Like some kind of messed up magical inheritance.
Okay. Stop. I'm already running a whole campaign in my head. What if those horses Noom Dawnrider lost? What if they were taken by a cult trying to resurrect Xan the First?
Now we're cooking. Maybe that scholar, the one obsessed with the Xans, he's caught in the middle, doesn't even know he's a pawn.
Oh, man. That's good stuff. We've got all that history to play with, too. This place is old. Let's get some good rumors going.
Oh, rumors are the best. What have you got?
Okay, how about whispers of a secret passage under the Temple of Meloria? Leads to a chamber full of artifacts, maybe relics from past Xans.
Ooh, I like it. Or what about a hidden spring deep in the Black Marsh guarded by some terrifying creature?
With the power to grant wishes.
Of course. But there's always a catch, right? There's always a price to pay. And don't forget those NPCs. Those are stories waiting to be told, too.
Right? They're more than just quest givers. They've got their own wants and needs, their own dramas unfolding.
Oh.
Ooh, I know. Horace and Merrick, our favorite dwarves.
What about them?
What if, during a dungeon crawl, one of them gets hit with a curse?
Ooh, nasty. What kind of curse?
Something bad. Something tied to Xan's magic. Now they're not just on some adventure. They're trying to save their friend.
And maybe the only way to break the curse is to dive deeper into Xan's family history. Or make a deal with someone they shouldn't.
Like the gnolls of the Black Marsh.
Exactly. Betray the people of Hawkstone to save their friend. Tough choices. High stakes.
This is why we do these deep dives. So many possibilities.
It's about taking those possibilities, adding your own spice, your own flavor.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to experiment. The best stories, the ones that surprise everyone, even the DM. And on that note, we'll wrap up our Hawkstone Village deep dives. Now go out there, roll some dice, slay some monsters, and make some memories. We'll see you next time.